Hey everyone, Brendan Snyder here. How are you? Thanks so much for joining me. So I just got home and look what was sitting on my porch, but a nice big box of CDs, maybe some other stuff inside here. Don't entirely know, but I love coming home and just seeing a box sitting there and knowing there's music inside that box. So very excited about that. This is from FNA Records, a really cool reissue label that does a lot with the late 80s, early 90s artists that we love here on this channel. I've talked about these in the past. You know, Tommy Paris, lead singer from Britney Fox after Dean Davidson, released two albums on FNA Records like this of unreleased demos and stuff from Britney Fox. So that was a cool thing. And they do other stuff like that. Another one I've talked to you guys about is Fallon, who was the original vocalist for Skid Row. And this is the band that came after that. So this one here, really, really good. Always enjoyed that one. And then not too long ago, because this is what kind of spurred it all along, I had ordered these. I had gotten King of the Hill 2, their second album, and then King of the Hill Sessions. So this is a bunch of rarity, unreleased type stuff that didn't make that second album or the first album. The band Jailhouse and the 1989 to 1990 demos. Lost Boys demos with Randy O from Odin, and Stiff Straight Up, which featured early guys from Lillian Axe. So cool stuff. So I'd gotten this and I did a little unboxing and stuff, as I like to do when I get things in the mail. And then the owner of FNA Records reached out to me and asked if I would like to work with them. And so he's sending this box here with some goodies inside it for me to check out and explore with you guys. So without further ado, let's cut into this and see what we got. Of course, got my my trusty X-Acto here. You guys know I'm an architect, so always gonna have my X-Acto around instead of a plain pair of scissors or something. Let me give a cut into this. Be careful, because you never know what's inside. So there we go. Close that up. All right, what do we got? All right, wow, right off the bat, look at that. Look how many nice CDs are sitting right there. And it looks like we got a shirt in here too. So let me pull this out. What do we got? Eight CDs. All right, looking forward to that. And we got a shirt in here. All right, look at that. FNA, so glam, hard rock, AOR, heavy metal. That's so true. That's exactly what they are. So cool. From now on, I'll be able to wear this when I'm talking about these guys and getting stuff in the mail. So I want to start off with this one here. So Jufria, I just saw this was coming out, didn't even know it was happening through them. And this is unreleased demos that have been remastered. I'm assuming this is from the beginning, before they were signed. Looks like 1987 is the date on here. There's 10 tracks: Don't Turn Away, Slip of the Tongue, Golden Town, One Love, Pleasure Palace, etc. In fact, I'll just flip that over, and if you want to pause on that, and then you can see what that is. But anytime we can get a little bit extra stuff from a band like Jufria, and of course, if you don't know, you had Greg Jufria coming from Angel as the keyboardist, and then eventually Jufria would kind of turn into House of Lords, right? So cool little connection there between Angel, Jufria, House of Lords. I love all those bands. I did see this one as I was just thumbing through it, so got a copy of this in here, and I've got one, so I'm going to give this one away here to someone who, will certainly enjoy that. Whenever I get duplicates, I like to be able to do that. Oh, we got some other stuff in here, so who knows? We'll see what happens. I've got a second copy of Stiff. So as I said, this features, I want to say it's the guitar player, but I know definitely also the singer from Lillian Axe. So it's like early guys from Lillian Axe doing this project here. But then they got back together and they did this reunion EP, 7 tracks on here. And so they brought back the original singer to do that. So you not only get the original stuff they did, straight up that EP originally with a bunch of demos on it, but then 2025 brand new. So both old and new. I thought this was just a killer release. It's a 2 CD thing. So I was very excited about that and the Jailhouse when I got both of those, and would highly recommend these. So even though they're not new for me today because I've already got them, I've actually really enjoyed them in my collection. And when I pulled my stuff out, it was really just to tell you where I was with this sort of stuff. But I got some other cool stuff in here, and I quickly thumbed through it. I don't have the rest of this. So these 5 plus the Jufria 6, all new to me, so I'm still getting enough. Don't worry about me here. But as I said, the Jufria, this one's very cool though. Tiger Tails and the Berserk demos. So this one here, they had just released the Tiger Tails box set. And then you guys know that I had Ace Fincham on the channel, the drummer from Tiger Tails, interviewing him. So it's cool. I've been sort of in that mindset with the band and everything, and looking forward to getting this now and being able to check this out and give that a listen. So both of those. And then not familiar with the rest of these, so I'm going to have to look into these, and then I can follow up and tell you more about them. But we've got a group here called Tourist, Bigger Plans. It's 1991 is the date on the backside, of course, new for them, so it's also stamped with the 2025, but 1990, 1991, and it's got, it's just telling you the different tracks on it and when they're from, but basically spanning between that time frame, and that's one of my absolute favorite times, basically 1989 to 1991. I love that stuff, so take one look at that. You know they're gonna rock. I'm excited about that. Whenever I see, if I came across this just in a record store, I'd be picking it up just simply based on the picture, because I know the sound of that kind of music when you see guys dressed that look like that. So that one's going to be cool, I know. And then this one here, Foxy Rocks, Shake the Foundation. So if we flip this over, just see if it happens to say, this is 1995, 2025. So maybe it's 1995. Don't know if that's just when it was. And this one's actually open. So I can pull this one out and see if we get any little bit more info on this one. But man, this is a really thick booklet. So we've got Shake the Foundation, and then we've got 1993 demos on here as well. But there you go. If you didn't think this was glam metal before, that photo right there is gonna tell you all you need to know about it. Looks like they're having a good time. But so this is very cool because you can immediately see that there's a cool write up and some information and stuff in here on these guys. So I'm gonna get to learn everything I want to know about this band as soon as I can sit down and go through this. But lots of cool photos and look, flyers and everything from back in the day, and all those cool things. So that's cool. That's not necessarily in every single one of these, but that's very cool that it's inside this one here. And we can get, to know more about this artist who flew under the wire at the time. And that's the way a lot of these is that they flew under the wire. That some of these are bands that never got signed. Maybe they were signed to a very small label locally, or they just put out a local demo from wherever they were from. And now they're finally getting wide distribution through the FNA label. And then other ones were actually released, or maybe the band got signed, like Jufria, and then now they're putting out demos. And that's kind of the way the label operates. So you can be getting stuff from well-known artists, unreleased material from them. And you can also be getting stuff from artists that never heard of, but deserve to have been signed, just never were. And so there's actually a second thing from Foxy Rocks. And this one here says 1997 on it. So wondering if these were just a late to the game kind of band that maybe had an album out in 95 and 97, and locally were still a big thing despite the changing music scene. I know that when I grew up in the Clearwater, Tampa, Florida area, there was the group Rocks Gang. Right, and actually, I don't know if Rocks Gang has some stuff on FNA or not, but I know that they're around and they've got stuff that's out there. And Rocks Gang had an album out in '88, but then those guys continued to perform well into the 2000s as Rocks Gang. But I remember '95, they're opening up for various bands, whether they were, grunge or alternative rock or whatever, still doing the sound of 1988 Rocksgang, even though it was 1995. And they put an album out in 1995 that I still have to this day. And I just remember being blown away by it because nobody was sounding like that anymore. So don't know if that's what's going on here, but I would venture a guess it very well could be. So I'm going to certainly take a look at that. And as I said, I'll let you guys know more about this in the New Music Finds episode when I can actually go back through and I'll tell you what I thought of this after hearing it. And then we got this, which looks to be a trio, Mistress. We got 3 guys in the front and 3 pictured on the back, so I'm assuming they're a trio. This one here has 1990 as the date on the back side of it and 10 tracks here. So, yeah, I don't know much about it, but I'm looking forward to diving into it. And 6 cool things for me to be checking out. And so, as I said, 2 bands that I know of, at least, that were signed and had albums out, Tiger Tails, Jufria. I'm not familiar with these. It doesn't mean that they didn't have albums out, but might have been the ones that ran under the radar. And that's just one of the cool things about the FNA label is all the different types of artists and things that they bring to the table. And so definitely recommend heading over to the label and checking out all that they've got to offer. They're always dropping new stuff. And I showed you the ones that I had picked up before that I would recommend still to you guys. I have a whole separate video. In fact, I'll put a link to the unboxing of these 5 that I first showed you at the beginning. I'll put a link to those if you want to know more about those, because those were ones that I searched out and ordered and knew about, so I could talk about them right from the get-go with you guys. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing straight from the mail, right as I've gotten it here. I've been looking forward to this ever since I knew a package was on its way to me. And coming home, seeing it on the porch, you guys know how it is. If you see that package, you open your mailbox, whatever it is, and you see it, it's grinning from ear to ear. So that's kind of mood I am, and I'm looking forward to going in and enjoying this. All right, everyone, take care, have a good one, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.